There was a mysterious woman in the women's prison bathroom. So mysterious that even while taking a shower, she never removed the metal collar around her neck. She was calm, elegant, and rarely spoke, yet the other inmates feared her deeply. From her hair, a dark, ink-like liquid constantly dripped. It was hair dye, meant to hide her true identity. But when that black dye finally reached her pale spine, everyone's suspicion turned into certainty. She slowly turned around, her deep green hair shimmered strangely, and her piercing eyes could freeze anyone in place. But the stares didn't bother her at all. After all, she was Polaris, the daughter of Magneto. Polaris had inherited her father's magnetic powers. She could control magnetic fields with her mind. Every piece of metal around her could become her weapon. Anyone foolish enough to provoke her had only themselves to blame. One day, a man who knew she was a mutant kept insisting she show him her powers. Polaris smiled and agreed. Her hands began to glow green, and the sports car parked outside the window started to levitate into the air. The man's eyes widened in disbelief, but Polaris wasn't done. She clenched her fists and slammed the car back to the ground, crushing it completely. A faint smirk formed on her lips, as if saying, "Mess with me and this is what you get." Despite her power, Polaris lived at the bottom of society, forced to hide every single day, because in this world being a mutant was a crime. When the police finally cornered her, she refused to surrender. Raising her hands, she sent a surge of energy that crushed every police vehicle in seconds. But instead of retreating, the officers fired even more bullets. Polaris extended her powers again, pulling 2 pistols right out of the officers' hands. She didn't want to kill anyone, so she trapped them inside their own squad cars instead. Just then, her boyfriend arrived. White light burst from his hands, blinding the police officers. The 2 of them tried to escape, but a gunshot rang out from behind, and her boyfriend fell, wounded. Polaris's anger exploded. Her boyfriend begged her not to fight, but it was too late. She lifted one of the officers and slammed him onto a trash bin. The next second, a stun gun hit her, and she blacked out. They threw her into prison. Even though it was the police who fired first, she was charged with attempted murder, and being a mutant made her punishment even worse, almost like a death sentence. Still, Polaris remained silent. When a deceitful prosecutor offered to reduce her sentence if she cooperated, Polaris only laughed. She said, "Death is mercy to me." But later, when that same prosecutor entered a glass chamber in front of her, Polaris clenched her fists, and the steel pin in his knee twisted violently. He screamed in pain. Then he held up a report, showing her that they had captured her child. Polaris broke down. Now her defiance would cost her dearly. They transferred her to Lake Prison, a place infamous for its cruelty. The moment she arrived, someone threw black paint at her. Her rage began to boil, but the warden stopped her. In the next cell, there was an African woman, also wearing the same metallic collar. Polaris immediately recognized her as another mutant, but she couldn't understand what was going on. Her cell was made entirely of metal, even the toilet. She laughed bitterly. "Looks like this is my own armory." But when she tried to use her powers, she felt dizzy. Had her powers disappeared? Then the woman next door whispered, "That collar around your neck, it suppresses mutant abilities. No one with it has ever left this place alive." Now Polaris had only one reason to live, her child. During lunch, she approached a woman named Xiaobai, trying to talk, but Xiaobai panicked and walked away, her eyes full of fear. She wasn't scared of Polaris. She was scared of someone else, Yuba, the prison's ruthless queen. Later, during the outdoor walk, Polaris memorized every inch of the prison's layout. 10-meter-high walls, guards everywhere. Without her powers, escape was impossible. That's when Yuba approached her and said, "Help me." Polaris looked straight into her eyes and refused. Follow us for more epic fantasy stories like this one.